I've launched campaigns and picked keywords. I've got my bids, set placements too, and bad mistakes. I've made a few. I've had my share of broad keywords, but I've gone through. We are the PPC Den, my friends, and we'll keep up the rising to the end. You two are the PPC Den. We talk about Amazon. No time for mannequins, 'cause we fix the gambit of the world.
What's going on, Badger Nation? Welcome to the PPC Den podcast, the world's first and longest running podcast all about Amazon advertising to make your Amazon PPC life a little bit easier and a little bit more profitable. We've been podcasting for a very long time here, so we have a huge collection of content and free resources. You should go and get the Google Sheet where we categorize all of this content for you. Download it. It's free in the link below. We're going to be just doing something a little fun today. No script. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going back in time 5 years ago. Thought this would be a fun way to kick off 2024. We're going to go back in time and look at the very, very first episode of the PPC Den podcast. Episode 1, 5 years ago. Let's jump into it. We're going to be seeing what's still true, what's changed, and right off the bat, we're going to look at the title of this episode. I went to YouTube, I typed in Golden Age of Amazon PPC, and it says, why we're living in the Golden Age of Amazon PPC, PPC Den podcast, episode 1. We're going to be answering the question, are we still in the Golden Age of Amazon advertising? Or is it some kind of flaming hellscape? Let's find out. Let's jump into this episode. First thing I'd love to do is introduce my co-host, a man who just moved from Florida to Austin to be on this podcast and work with us here at Ad Badger, Brett Messier. Right off the bat,
Good.
the intro music, we did not have the crazy intros as we like to do. Getting Freddie Mercury or Steve Irwin to come in and sing for us, sing the intro. I'm a big fan of our current intro. We are the PPC Den. You are the PPC Den, my friends. We sort of have a Bismarcky, oh baby, you got what I need, kind of intro music here on the keyboard, which is really fun. And of course, we can't react to this video without bringing up Brett Messier. Brett, if you're out there, I hope all is well. Brett went on to have a very successful career in the world of e-commerce. So congratulations and nothing but love for being crazy enough to be the first co-host of the PPC Den podcast. Fantastic guy. I really like this guy. We had a lot of fun together. We are in a studio in Austin where Brett just moved. I think he did something like he drove to Austin for the interview, had the interview, and then drove right back to Florida to grab his stuff. And on the way back, we hired him and he had to just drive right back. Moving to a new place is always fun.
Good. How are you doing today, Mike?
Not so bad. So, Brett, you're pretty crazy. You just moved all the way to Austin. How's it been so far? It's been about 2-3 weeks here in Austin.
It's been awesome so far. The city's been absolutely beautiful. Moving everything from Florida, all those pets that we own was quite the task, but super excited to be here and excited to kick off this podcast with you.
And just for those who don't know, you said all the pets that you own. Can we get a number?
Oh boy. I think I've lost count, but we're in the teens somewhere. They're all well taken care of.
The only animal I've ever met I met his dog, and I think I've met a bearded dragon that he had.
Hoarder.
We bought his zoo. So really the purpose of this podcast is to really let people know everything there is to know about Amazon PPC. It is one of the most exciting things going on in digital marketing. I've always loved doing paid traffic on Amazon, and we've looked hard. I'm pretty sure this is the world's first Amazon PPC podcast, which is pretty damn cool.
Absolutely. I think we have a ton of awesome experience and knowledge to share with everyone. And if people are looking specifically for Amazon PPC tips, we're going to make this the place to come for all of that.
And here's
I want to say, shout out to the 25,000 views and listens that we get on this show every month. It really is an insane honor and privilege to be and to have created such a gigantic repository of Amazon advertising and Amazon marketing information. I think when we were at like episode 100, somebody asked me like, aren't you going to run out of topics to talk about? And the answer is no. Like, we can still go back to almost any episode and provide an update. I mentioned here that Amazon advertising is one of the most exciting things in all of digital marketing. I would probably say most people wouldn't rank it as one of the most exciting. It's sort of a more standard channel now that people tap into. If you're an e-commerce brand, you are selling on Shopify or selling on Amazon, you must be doing Amazon ads. So every single company on Amazon is doing and should be doing Amazon ads. At the time, maybe 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. Like, it was optional almost 5 years ago to be running Amazon ads. You'd still find people who are incredibly successful, advertising maybe 1% of their revenue, meaning they generated $10,000 of revenue a month, and they only advertise like $100 a month or barely anything a month, which made it really exciting to advertise because you were able to move so fast and outpace the competition to a degree that is very rare today. So I think that's one interesting point. I do think I'm still incredibly excited about it, but if I were to survey 1,000 digital marketers at once, they'd probably say something like using AI for marketing would probably be the most exciting topic right now.
There's never been a more exciting time to dig in to Amazon PPC. But even before we get to Amazon advertising, let's just talk about Amazon really quick. Brett, we were doing some research before this episode. Let's hit the people with some quick facts, some stats. The number of individual sellers is skyrocketing. I think it's maybe doubled or tripled within the last just few years, and it's expected to do it again. In fact, in 2017, Amazon took half of all online Black Friday sales.
It's pretty crazy when you think about it, and I think a lot of people are just now starting to realize how good of an opportunity there is to be selling on Amazon and the amount of people that you can reach using that platform.
So the amount of, I mentioned something about the amount of sellers. It says that I just Googled 9.7 million Amazon sellers globally, 2.3 million active on the Amazon marketplace. 76% achieved profitability, congratulations, with 63% achieving profitability within the first year. That's wild. And 60% of Amazon sales are generated by independent sellers, who are independent sellers by listening to this. So shout out to all of that. And that's straight from Sell on Amazon stats, which is wild. Customers complete 28% of purchases in 3 minutes or less. Customers complete 50% of purchases in less than 15 minutes. So that's amazing. The average US-based seller is doing $230,000 in sales. So that's the average. We all know the problem with averages. Jeff Bezos walks into a bar. The average net worth of everyone, 100x. Wow. Okay. How about that? Prime Day, 300 million items, an average of 100,000 items per minute. That was in 2022. The stats for, Amazon's share of e-commerce sales is still pretty high. So share of e-commerce sales, Amazon, 37%. What did I say back then?
Individual sellers is skyrocketing. But we were doing some research before this episode. Let's hit the people with some quick facts, some stats. The number of individual sellers doubled or tripled within the last just few years, and it's expected to do it again. In fact, in 2017, Amazon took half of all online Black.
Okay, so that's just Black Friday sales. So 38% of total e-commerce sales. And if you're curious, Walmart is at 6.4%. How about that? Amazon's share of Black Friday sales, 40% in 2023. So it does look like some other, we have individual Shopify stores, of course. We do have Walmart. It's actually pretty interesting watching Walmart go up. It's possible they're going to be at, double digits, like 10% of e-commerce sales in the next few years. I haven't done much Walmart, but it's definitely something. Some people on the team here have been playing a lot with Walmart. It's definitely something to be aware of and coordinate, probably.
Pretty crazy when you think about it. And I think a lot of people are just now starting to realize how good of an opportunity there is to be selling on Amazon and the amount of people that you can reach using that platform.
Mm-hmm. Just recently, actually, the Amazon crossed over. Now 55% of all online sales start on Amazon, which is pretty crazy to think. I know that that number is probably even greater for me and probably greater for most people, where over 55% of the things that are purchased now actually start on Amazon.
And speaking of, close to 50%, I believe now that over 50% of households actually have an Amazon Prime subscription.
Mm-hmm. Which 1 out of 2 households are Amazon Power users now. They went for Prime.
It's incredible how fast.
Currently, the number is 173 million in America have Prime. It's a lot. So it's interesting. I mentioned some percentages. We mentioned some percentages here, and the percentages are lower now, but the total amount is bigger, meaning Amazon sales have increased and the amount of Prime users has increased. So in like 2017, it was about 100 million. Today, there is 180 million. That's a forecast of 2024. So Amazon continues to be an absolute behemoth.
And I think it's going to continue on that trajectory. I think that it's going to just continue to grow and continue to gain market share. And people love the convenience that Amazon brings with Prime and that 2-day shipping.
Mm-hmm. And internationally, we pulled up a stat. There's been over 1 million new Amazon sellers internationally. That is a huge number. So here's the situation so far. The amount of dollars being spent on Amazon is skyrocketing, and this is not a secret. Mm-hmm. And there are so many sellers that know this as well. So not only are more and more people shopping on Amazon, but there's more and more sellers on Amazon, leading to a huge increase in competition, which means Amazon sellers are fighting tooth and nail to get as much visibility as they possibly can.
Absolutely.
Still true.
Which is why Amazon advertising has been thrown into the forefront. Amazon advertising is Amazon's fastest growing segment. They just topped a quarter over $2 billion in ad revenue, which again is just doubling every year for the last 2 years. Amazon, if you go make a search on Amazon now, I was doing a search the other day. I needed to buy a cell phone holder for my car.
So that number, I mentioned 2 billion, is so much higher now. They did 12 billion in the third quarter of this year. So just recapping, that was a 26% increase over the previous year. So in 2017, I said 2 billion, and it's currently at 2 billion for the year. they've reached 38 billion for a year. Wow. Yeah, Amazon advertising revenues reached 38 billion in 2022. And then in 2023, just quarter three did 12 billion. So, I mean, if you multiply 12 billion by 4 quarters, that's about 48 billion, and that's not even factoring in a Q4 bump. So it looks like almost 50 billion. So that's like a 25x in Amazon advertising spend. Since then, it's crazy how much Amazon advertising has increased.
Typed in cell phone holder, 100% of what I saw above the fold, meaning before I scrolled down, was all a sponsored placement. Google's never done that, where 100% of everything you see before you scroll down on a big desktop was paid placement. Facebook has never done this. You don't open up Facebook and instantly
And I
see
will
ads.
say, I'm reading an article now from February 2023. At that time, Amazon held about 7% of overall online ad market, where Google has 28%, Facebook had 11%, and Instagram had 9%. So when you combine Instagram and Facebook, that's about 20% compared to Google's 28%, compared to Amazon 7%. So still much smaller relative to Google Ads. You factor every business in the world can use Google Ads, to your plumber, to your electrician, to your dentist, whereas primarily, e-commerce brands are on Amazon advertising.
And you don't stop seeing ads until you start scrolling down even further. So the way that Amazon is prioritizing their ads, giving more and more screen
Still
real
true.
estate. You
Still
can see
doing
ads
it.
on top of the screen before you start scrolling down. After a search, you see them in the middle of search results. Again, something Google's never did. They have it at the bottom of search results. After you click on a product, you then see product display ads on that individual product. You scroll down, you see organic suggestions, but you also see some paid suggestions as well.
It's been working for them too. I mean, the average conversion rate on Amazon compared to Google or Facebook is just huge compared to those.
How huge are we talking?
I believe it's the average conversion rate for Amazon is around 10%, isn't it?
That's right.
Still true.
So
Conversion
the
for
conditions are
advertising.
so ripe for Amazon advertising. We are truly living in the sort of golden age of Amazon advertising. I've been doing it now for over 5 years, and it's still the golden age. Cost per clicks are much cheaper than you're going to find on Google.
So, at the time in 2017, when I recorded this, I was doing Google ads, Facebook ads, and Amazon ads. I feel so lucky that in like 2011, 2012, I had a customer who was on Shopify and they wanted to expand to Amazon. So Amazon has been around for quite some time and they wanted to branch out to Amazon. They were really gung-ho about Amazon, and I feel really lucky that I got to be there really early. And I'm also really lucky that I got to experience Google ads and Facebook ads and Amazon ads, Microsoft Bing ads, all sort of seeing these search-based platforms, especially Google ads, because Google ads has always and continues to be years ahead of where Amazon ads are. So you can sort of look at what Amazon does through like your Google ads experience lens and sort of get a pulse on things. So like 5 years before this, like in 2012, 2013, a lot of my Amazon ads were actually off Amazon ads, meaning you would serve an ad, you would like upload a product feed, like you'd upload a product feed spreadsheet, it would create a product detail page for you, and someone would click buy, they'd be taken to whatever URL you want them to. So they were like, it was Amazon-based traffic, and you would find Amazon search-based traffic. People will click on it and then go to their website. It was crazy. That was probably the best converting e-commerce ad I've ever ran. That was huge. That was wild.
Conversion rates are going to be way higher than you're going to find on
Still
Google or
true.
Facebook. And these are the sort of the people now. The actual statistics and the metrics are so primed for e-commerce sales. And the real crazy thing about this, compared to Facebook ads where someone's or Instagram ads where you're scrolling down, you see something, it's interrupting your process, and now you're going and doing something completely different. You're being asked to buy something, or if you're on
Still
Google
true.
and you're typing in, a search for what's the best cell phone holder, all of those ads are going to be asking you to buy something when you just might be researching. So the thing that's really unique about ads on Amazon is that it interrupts the user experience zero. Like all of these ads that I saw when I was searching for a cell phone holder, they were all pretty good products, like products that I would have clicked on organically anyway.
Right.
High star ratings, lots of reviews. Like I would have clicked on these products anyway. So Amazon has this incredible experience compared to Google and Facebook, and this incredible advantage.
Not only that, but I think they are inventing a new shopping experience. One company I think doing it super well right now, because they started as a social platform first, is TikTok. Like the way that TikTok is incorporating TikTok shopping into their platform is really interesting. Amazon, I believe, within the next 5 years will probably have a similar home shopping network type experience where people actually use, like it's actually like a thing that people will do when they are in their downtime, the same way that our parents and grandparents turn on Home Shopping Network or QVC. Amazon has had the sort of QVC-like ecosystem, but I think they want that kind of traffic. They already have I want to buy something, let me go to Amazon. And I think their business will continue to grow even faster if they can tap into I don't know what I want to buy, but I'm just curious on what products are out there and what product people are using. So like Amazon influencers, I think will just become more popular in the next 2 years.
It interrupts the user experience zero.
It's an absolutely amazing part of their platform. Another incredible thing that I don't think a lot of people have wrapped their head around yet is Amazon's FBA program is an incredible opportunity for people to just come up with a brand, source it, whether it's locally or overseas, ship it right to Amazon's warehouse without having to touch a physical product that they own. That's their brand. You can sell your own products without even touching them now, and use them and market them to Amazon customers using the PPC platform and launch a brand that way completely digitally from your computer anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity and the growth that we're seeing in Amazon's PPC program have just been amazing. And there's
true, amazing. Yeah, it's great. I will also just add a caveat there. I would say the most successful people that I work with are touching their products for sure.
Good going ahead.
Mm-hmm. And that's why this podcast exists. So many people, we answer questions all day long from people that write in that are saying, how do I get started with Amazon PPC? I don't exactly know what to do, because even though all of those things are true, that revenue on Amazon is growing, the cost per clicks on Amazon are still great, the conversion rates are still great.
Are they still great? Are the conversion rates still great? Yes. Are the CPCs still great? They're okay. They're still good. If we were to look up the average CPC on average CPC Amazon and jump in there, hey, we have a Azure blog post. The average CPC on Amazon is like $1. The average CPC on Google Ads is between 2 and 4. So Google being 2 to 4 times more expensive. Yeah, we got to say that Amazon still has good CPCs. For some niches and some industries, it's pretty expensive. It's pretty tough. Like some people are selling products for $20, $30 and their CPCs are 3, 4, 5. Really tricky.
Advertising. Paid traffic is technical. It is confusing. There are loads of spreadsheets. That people
so
need
many
to sift
spreadsheets.
Through. There's terminology, like the difference between a keyword and a search term. Amazon is very unique about how its campaign structure needs to be set up. It's a lot to take in.
Learning PPC and getting your head around PPC is probably one of the hardest things that you can do as an Amazon seller. But I think a lot of people need to realize that it's not as hard as it seems at first.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get a good grasp of everything, and once you end up optimizing your ads for good performance, the Amazon PPC program can actually transform your business and bring you those sales that you really need and the revenue you need to continue to expand your business and grow and add new products and really build out that brand.
Well said.
Yeah, and that's why we're here to sort of break down some of those strategies that we use and that we know that our clients use and that other people in the industry are using to get their target result, whatever that might be. Because again, what's really unique about Amazon advertising compared to Facebook and Google or anything like that is that on Facebook, when you click on an ad, you're taken off of Facebook most of the time. And on Google, when you click on an ad, you're taken off of the search engine result page, you're going to a private site. And on Amazon, when you click on an ad, you're staying on Amazon. So the incentives for Amazon to serve certain kinds of ads, it's very interesting. We're going to get into all these strategies about what makes Amazon PPC unique, how to get the most out of it, and how to improve people's ROI on Amazon advertising.
Oh, baby.
That's what this podcast is all about. So let's talk about who we are.
Who are we? Who am I?
Brett, you have a really interesting background, which sort of led you to this podcasting table here in Austin at Badger Studios. Tell us
Got that table at Goodwill?
about yourself.
Yep.
It's all about saving money,
before
people.
I came and joined Ad Badger, I was an Amazon seller for 3 years. I launched a brand, and it was pretty successful. In the first year, I did over $200K in revenue, learned a whole lot, learned a lot about pay-per-click, and I kind of really began to love the technical aspect of Amazon PPC and how to properly optimize ads. And I stumbled across Ad Badger, and it was an awesome opportunity, and here I am now.
Right on. And for those listening, Brett is also the only person here in the office who can beat me in a typing speed
I blocked that out.
competition.
Yes, I have an incredibly fast words per minute typing, and I definitely block it out. I block out the losses. I delete those files from my brain. I will say, I think it's really interesting. One major endorsement I'll give Brett is that when people start out as sellers and then they grow their company and then they go on to teach others or do PPC as a service or do digital marketing as a service, the one piece of advice that I always give those people, and Brett had this automatic, which is why he was such a powerful guy, is that you have to always realize like what you have done in your account may or may not be applicable towards other people's accounts. So many different factors, like the industry that you're in, the competition that you have, the life cycle of your company, all of those things matter so much. And it's really important for any individual, when you're talking to a friend, or talking to others in groups or whatever, you always want to be really aware, like, hey, this has been my experience. And I think one thing that comes is like when you start looking at dozens and dozens or hundreds of accounts, you begin to realize like, oh, things are different from one account to the other. Like for some people, bidding this way works. For other people, bidding that way works. And I think that's really important to be aware of. So I just wanted to give Brett some props there.
Which is pretty impressive. I am Mike, and I've been optimizing PPC campaigns. So even though I don't have a history of being an Amazon seller myself, I've been doing advertising on Amazon for e-commerce clients for the majority of my professional career. And I did Amazon ads back when you could do ads on Amazon and send traffic to your Shopify store. You were able to upload a product feed. You were able to put your ad in a format, put your product in a format, and then when people would click add to cart or buy now, it would take them to the Shopify store. It was that, maybe that was
so
really
you go way
golden.
back, huh?
Maybe that was like the diamond age, because even that would convert many times greater than a Google ad to point it at someone's Shopify store. People trust Amazon. So I've been doing Amazon for a very, very long time. We have a agency.
Well, it's also really interesting. I'll add another thing. I have a pretty good friend with a very successful brand, and he's got a Shopify store, and he just gets a lot of traffic to a Shopify store because it's a very social company. Gets a lot of traffic to his Shopify store. When you click add to cart and you click buy, he takes you to Amazon. So he actually takes people off of his Shopify store over to Amazon, and which is insane. It's not insane, but it's definitely uncommon in the sense of like, I have somebody on my site, they're ready to buy. Why would I send them to Amazon where they could potentially buy something else? He found that people convert just in greater numbers on Amazon. They like the fact that it's easy returns. They like the fact that they trust Amazon. So I think so he had that for a while. I think recently within the last like year or so, he has a button to like check out on Amazon and check out on Shopify. And I don't remember what the number split there was, but really interesting.
Agency where we were doing Amazon ads, Google ads, Facebook ads for people. And really what Ad Badger is, it's sort of the Amazon PPC company. It's the company that focuses primarily on Amazon PPC all day, every day. So that is sort of our introduction. And part of every episode, we do want to answer some user questions. So we put a little call out there, and we got a question, believe it or not, Brett, on our very first episode.
I'll go ahead and read it out. So James from Ascent Digital sent in a question and asked, I've been managing e-commerce clients on Google Ads for about a year now. More and more people are starting to ask for Amazon PPC management. Should I say yes? How should I get started? What do you think, Mike?
This is a really good
I don't
question.
know what happened to our microphone at that point, but shout out to James from Ascent. Right on. Thanks for asking this question.
I think this is getting asked more and more often. So many people are sort of a website design company and also a digital marketing company. So they all sort of lump these things together, right? If someone's building your e-commerce store and they're also doing SEO for you, it makes sense for them also to do Google Ads for you as well. However, more and more people are asking those agencies like, hey, can we also advertise on Amazon as well? The thing that I'll probably say, and you'll probably relate to this as an Amazon seller yourself, managing a client's Amazon brand is more than just PPC.
Still true.
Like what else goes into that? It goes into that. What else should James be thinking about?
Right. So, the question is like, can you just also do my Amazon marketing? And it's like, well, there's a lot more to it than just PPC.
A big issue, a big reason that we have to optimize bids the way that we do is because it needs to match a certain product's conversion rate. So there are a lot of different factors that can go into a particular product's conversion rate. But whenever we set a target ACoS in order to optimize bids properly, we need to have a set understanding of what that product's conversion rate is and the different things that can go into having a really good conversion rate. So this includes listing optimization, which is how good are your images, are your titles convincing and getting people to click? Do you have really good ad copy? Do you have really good reviews? That's one of the main things that'll really impact a conversion rate. So we had to take into consideration all these things and mix them in with PPC to try to get the best sales performance, because there's a lot of different aspects to every single ad campaign.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing to know, James, is that even if you go out and create a perfect campaign for a client, there's the other component, which is like the organic side of things. So
Still
I would
true.
just make sure that definitely offer, like you'll find a lot of your skills from Google Ads are going to be really good for Amazon ads. Like all of your bid optimization skills and your campaign structure skills and your negative keyword skills and keyword organization, all of those good things are going to like be able to be plugged into Amazon PPC, and you're going to get up and running really fast because you're going to know the terminology. It's just a matter of, in Google, I optimize bids this way, and then on Amazon, I just need to tweak it a little bit. So I think everything's going to be relatable for you, and you're not going to bump into any huge issues. But if Ascent Digital is going to offer that as a...
Still true. I think people that transition from Google over to Amazon are often like, where are all the options? So I think Google's a more nuanced, complicated interface and has more features and more metrics. Because don't forget, I also think it's a more unified, like when I'm in, looking at display ads, they're right next to search text ad. They're right next to performance max ads in Google. And they're all sort of like, it's a deeper ecosystem, I think. There's more options to everything. There's more settings to everything.
Service, you just want to be sure that the clients that you're working with are also going to have the sort of general Amazon store management, because if they're using you guys for all of their e-commerce management on their standalone website, like their standalone Shopify site, and they expect you to do everything on Amazon too, that's
a lot more work
to know where the scope is. But in general, I'd say go for it. There's never been a better time.
Yeah. I want to kind of pick your brains, Mike. What do you think it's going to be like for agencies in the future, in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think every ad agency is going to need to service Amazon PPC?
Everyone who works with e-commerce. I think it's much more common today. Like if you were launching an e-commerce brand tomorrow, and you launch your standalone Shopify site, you launch your Amazon store is going to get more sales faster.
Still true.
And that can sort of always be true. I know people that they have their
all things being
Shopify
equal
store, but on the add to cart button, they have 2 add to cart buttons. One is to buy it right there on their Shopify store, and the other is a button to take them off their website and go to Amazon.
Right.
And that's crazy, but it works really well for this particular person. So I think in the future, anyone working in the world of e-commerce for clients would probably need to know Amazon PPC. No doubt about it.
Awesome.
Still true. If you're working on, I think the amount of people who like do just Google ads for e-commerce and not Amazon ads, I think that number is getting smaller.
Cool. So that is our first episode, Brett. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Thanks for tuning in to the PPC Den podcast. Again, it's your source for all things Amazon PPC, tips, tricks, and optimization.
Still true, baby.
Badger.
And I'm Brett from Ad Badger.
We hope you enjoyed this intro episode. Tune in next week because we're really going to start getting into the meat of Amazon PPC, really dig into some tips and strategies. So be sure to go to adbadger.com/podcasts for show notes and all the links mentioned in this episode. We'll link to all the stats that we mentioned above. We'll be back next week with even more Amazon advertising info to help you get the most out of every dollar.
That's it from the Badger Den. Take care, guys.
Whew. Good stuff. It's been a trip. It's 5 years of the PPC Den podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Here's some fun thing. I'll do a live react to some comments. I need episode 26 link. What happens to this podcast? You only see one episode. We've got like 200 something now. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. In summary, how much has changed in the world of Amazon advertising since then? It's gotten a lot more competitive, for sure. It's gotten a lot wider and deeper. I mean, there's more ad types. There's more you can do with each ad type. It's also been further embedded into the Amazon marketing ecosystem, meaning you cannot be a hyper successful Amazon seller. I don't even think you could be a moderately successful Amazon seller without having an Amazon PPC strategy. It is more influential than ever. If I have 2 brands on Amazon and one is doing no ads, one is doing just sponsored products, and one is doing sponsored products, sponsored brand, sponsored display, and then another one is doing all 3 campaign types and paying attention to product page optimization and market analysis and all of that, how PPC sifts into every other element of Amazon. Like, it's a no-brainer who's going to grow fastest. So PPC continues to be more important. Do I think that all e-commerce brand agencies need to incorporate Amazon ads in some degree? Yes. And I think there's a lot true. Another big question, are we still in the golden age of Amazon PPC? No, I think it's over. I think the golden age is over. The golden age of like CPCs that were always under 50 cents. Now you need a lot more know-how, a lot more effort. You need an iron will in order to really make it on Amazon advertising. You need to be able to look at, sacrificing profitability for some time in order for organic ranking, in order for reviews to come in order to gain your momentum, in order to overtake competitors. That's tough. Like, that's hard. So I think it was way easier 5 years ago. I still think it is, of course, it is doable. It is manageable. We can conquer these things. We talk about conquering all of these challenges every week. And because it's gotten so complicated and there's so many layers to it, because of that, knowing those things and paying attention to them can help you overtake competitors, which is really, really fun. So stay learning, continue to learn. That will be your competitive edge. Thank you so much for listening. This was a fun one. Let me know if you enjoyed this reaction episode. I definitely want to go back and update older content. We've got content before Modified Broad came out. We've got content when sponsored brands used to just be headline search ads. So like going back and updating, I think will be a really cool trip down memory lane to sort of update things. I think one of the coolest things that came from this podcast, one of the coolest, someone was driving from like Florida to California and they binged listened to every episode. So shout out if you're listening to this in a car. Shout out if you're in the middle of America somewhere. Had to download these episodes because you got no service. Driving through, passing the roadrunners by. Anyway, thank you all. It is an absolute privilege. I will see you next week here on the PPC Den podcast.